This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today that you will consider this like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and your heart. And wherever you listen to podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? Leave a rating and a brief written review. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, a whole lot more. So please subscribe and pass the word along. I just discovered today that Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom was featured in New and Noteworthy on iTunes, and that is a huge, gigantic happening, and thank you. It couldn't have happened without you. Today I'd like to talk about team building. I continually tell people that no one of us is as smart as all of us. No one of us can ever accomplish in this life what all of us coming together on a team can accomplish. It was Helen Keller who said that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. That's why we need to operate in teams. Henry Ford, who did not invent the car but invented the assembly line, as I lived in his town for several years, said that if everyone is moving forward together, then success will take care of itself. That is so true. If we just do what we can do and come together and together work on some goals, some projects, success will come. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships, so said Michael Jordan. You know, there are many times in the sports field, and it would be true in the business, it would be true in every endeavor. There are a lot of teams that have really great and talented individuals, but they're not always the ones who win the championships. It's the people who function as teams are the ones that win at the end of the day. One way that I can tell whether a team spirit and a real team is being built whenever I'm hanging around a group of people is I listen for the ratio of we's to I's, and that's indicative of a team. If the person, the leader, continually says, I did this, I'm going to do that, I'm for this, I did this, you can pretty much tell that it's all about that person. But when we replaces I, we are going to do this, we accomplish this, then you know that a team is being built and a team is being put in place. Whether you're in the not-for-profit, the church, the secular world, the business world, really makes no difference, even a family. We have to build a team. To get where you need to take your organization and even yourself, you're going to need some help. You need to build a team. Even if you work in a volunteer organization, you're going to need to gather around you a group of people who are like-minded, who are focused on the same goal and the same objective, working together to make it happen. So let's talk about 5 things that are essential if we're going to build a team. The very first thing is we need a team goal. Now, I have goals that are individual. I have goals for my family, but I also have goals for my responsibilities and at work, and I'm not going to be able to move that by myself. I'm not going to be able to even accomplish those things on my own. It takes a team working together. And the other thing is you must continually communicate with the team what are the goals and the expectations. Why are we here? What is it that we are attempting to do? And they have to be clear and understandable. So the very first thing to put a team together is you have to quit thinking about I and what I'm trying to accomplish and about what I desire to happen and come to an understanding what is it that we need to do together. Where is it that we are headed? And then make it crystal clear, continually repeat it. Make sure that everyone on the team understands it clearly. The second thing is avoid favoritism. Now, this is really difficult when we get to working with a group of people, because there are always in any group some people that we have a natural affinity for. There are some people that are similar to us in our backgrounds, our education, our upbringing, whatever it may be. There are just some people, and you know what I'm talking about, you just begin to automatically click with them. And there will be some important members of your team that you don't feel that way about. You're not as naturally close to them as you can be. There's not that common ground or as much of it. But to get the team to move forward, you have to avoid favoritism. By that meaning, everyone is important, and we can't just keep bragging on one person or spending all of our time with that one person. Now, I'm talking about building a team. You have to avoid favoritism, and even some that you may never do Thanksgiving with, and you may never go on vacation with because you're not that personally close to them, are still functioning, important members of the team. And you're not there in the team to build friendships alone. You're there to get something done. So as much as possible, avoid favoritism, realize and continually communicate both verbally and, more importantly, by your actions, that we are all part of the team and we all play essential and important parts. Not just the people who seem to be out in front, but we need a lot of people doing little things along the way to make a difference. So avoid favoritism. The third thing that I would say when you are in the team building process is make sure you have the necessary resources as you bring team members on. When I was hiring staff, as my congregations were smaller and were growing, one of the early mistakes I made as a young man was I would find the resources to hire someone, but then expect them to run their program and to run the area of their expertise on next to nothing. And sometimes it wasn't just next to nothing, it was right at nothing. And this creates exceeding frustration. Yes, the personnel is important, but we need to provide necessary resources. So as I grew and mature and would begin to add more staff, I would build in a padding on, not padding, but I would build in some more money for what it was going to take for the new hire, because they have to have some money for a budget in order to be able to do what you have hired them to do. So not only think about the human capital cost when you bring someone on, but the necessary resources. And this would even be true in a volunteer organization. If you're asking someone to volunteer, don't just automatically expect they're already volunteering their time, that they're going to pay for everything that it takes in order for them to accomplish what you've asked them to do as a volunteer. Now, there'll be some volunteers that are early retired or took an early retirement and have the resources and are more than happy to do that, but don't assume that. Make sure, even if it's a few dollars, even if it's the material that they need, that you provide the necessary resources. If you don't, that discourages a team if they've been asked to do something, paid or unpaid, paid or volunteer, and you don't provide the necessary resources. The fourth item that would go into building a team is set realistic expectations. One of the things, again, I'm just kind of sharing with you some of the things where I failed in the past was I'm a high expectations kind of a guy. I have high expectations for myself and I have them for everyone else. And the problem is some of the things that I want to do in the time limit that I have declared we're going to do it is totally unrealistic. So I've had to step back and realize also that everyone is not an early riser like I am. Everyone's not going to work in the same fashion and way that I do. But set realistic expectations, especially if you're hiring. Again, a volunteer or a paid person makes no difference. What are the expectations not only on that individual, but what is their expected contribution to the team? They need to know, why am I here? What am I supposed to doing? It needs to be clearly understood by you, by them, by the organization, and most importantly, by the team. I don't mean that we can't stretch people. All of us need to be stretched, but make sure that the expectations are realistic, that the person can accomplish it, and they understand, and they signed on for it, and they're ready, willing, and able. The fifth and final thing that I would say in regard to team building is give recognition. I think this may be an area where many organizations fall very flat, and that is recognition. Whether the person is a paid employee, whether they're a volunteer, everyone loves to hear their name. Everyone loves to have appreciation expressed to them for a job well done. It does not cost any extra to say thank you. It does not cost any extra to say, I want to point out that Sally has done an exemplary job with the project she just brought in under budget and on time, and it is duly noted. Let's give Sally some love. And everyone claps. Don't be so busy and so focused on the goal and focused on where you're going that you forget in the process it's going to take a lot of people making a lot of sacrifice and doing a lot of things in order to reach that goal. Step back, say thank you, show your appreciation, just sort of build it in every day, every week, that as you walk around and as you talk to people, be an appreciative leader. Express appreciation for jobs well done. It is worth more than money when we express appreciation and give recognition. If you've been tasked with building a team, make sure that the team goals are clearly understood. It's not just your goals, but it's the team goals. Make sure they're clear. Don't play favorites. You need everyone on the team. Make sure that you have allocated the necessary resources for the individual team members as well as the team to function and to accomplish what they're being asked to accomplish. Set realistic expectations, preferably up front, where everyone knows and everyone has bought into what we're attempting to do. And don't get so busy and so sidetracked and so focused that you forget to give recognition to those who are doing an outstanding job. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I hope today this has been a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. Wherever you listen to podcasts, please download and subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, and please leave a rating and a brief written review. It will help others to be able to find this podcast. All of my friends, let's go out today and continue to build strong and healthy teams. And remember, leader, you're doing better than you think you are. This is Dr. Ron saying, until next time, have a great and blessed day.